Hello, YouTube community. Welcome back to RobScure Music. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all 29 studio albums of the Beach Boys. Now, I don't have all 29 to show you, so I'll be popping those up on the screen somewhere up here in free space. But I've got a list, and so as not to make this too lengthy a video, I'm going to try to get through it quickly, not talk too much about the albums. So let's start with number 29, which is kind of no surprise. I think it's everyone's least favorite Beach Boys album, largely driven by Mike Love, Summer in Paradise. This is their 1992 album where Mike essentially tried to undo all the good that Brian had done for the Beach Boys over the preceding decades, particularly in the 60s and early 70s. And, I honestly don't even know what to say about the album. I mean, even the whale looks embarrassed to be a part of this, to be on the cover. All right, so number 28, I'm going to go with Stars and Stripes. This is an album of the Beach Boys and country artists, and it basically, proves that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, particularly if it's the surf. At number 27, I have Keeping the Summer Alive. This is their 1980 album. This is kind of a mixed bag, kind of a crazy album. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. At number 26, I have their 1985 album simply called The Beach Boys. Now, this one, the Beach Boys are kind of getting a little bit of soul. Unfortunately, it's the bottom of a shoe. So this one, too, is kind of a throwaway and deserves to be in their bottom 5. Then at number 25, we have Still Cruisin', 1989. Keep in mind, their first album was released in 62, so in 89, they'd been doing this for 27, 28 years, I guess 27 years. And again, we got a mixed bag. You have Kokomo on there, so there's some value to the album, but not a lot. At number 24, we have MIU, and this was recorded at the Maharishi International University in Iowa, hence the MIU. And this is kind of easy listening, but easy to forget. And then at number 23, we have 15 Big Ones. This is their 1976 album. It was a big seller back then. But honestly, even Brian Wilson said that this album was nothing deep, and he was right. It does have that somewhat dreadful cover of Rock and Roll Music. Some people like it, some don't. I'll listen to it, but not one of my favorite covers. And then at number 22, we have The Beach Boys' Love You from 1977. And as it turns out, the Beach Boys, or Brian Wilson anyway, really love the Moog synthesizer. It's all over this album. This has a unique sound because of that. Then for number 21, their 1979 album, L.A. This is their light album, and it's better than MIU. I'll give it that. But, and that's basically because of Dennis and Carl, who shined in this album. This has Here Comes the Night, which was reworked in 1979 as a disco tune and became very popular. Then we've got number 20, Call and the Passions, So Tough. This is their 1972 album where we are introduced to Blondie Chaplin and Ricky Fataar as Beach Boy members, and they both make contributions that help this album along. It's become a bit of a cult favorite, I think, this album, but it's only my number 20. At number 19, their last album in 2012, called That's Why God Made the Radio. I think this is a fantastic album. I wish I could have put it a little higher than 19, honestly, but I think this is probably a good place for it. It's 2012. We're talking 50 years after the Beach Boys released their debut. And this was a return to form, if you will, back to rock and roll, and away from their prior album, Stars and Stripes, which included country artists and country elements. So it was good to see them getting back to that. And this album, the last song, Summer's Gone, is just absolutely amazing, and a great way for the Beach Boys to have finished their recording career. At number 18, I've got, and honestly, 19 was That's Why God Made the Radio, and I wish I could have made it a little higher. This one I wish I could have made a little lower. Party. This is their 1965 album. It, I think, was recorded to help fill a space in terms of getting material out there, I think, in time for the holiday, end of the year sales. It's an album that was recorded in a way to make it seem like they're just recording it in the studio or in their home. There are friends and family there. They're having a good time. Everyone's joking, laughing. It's very playful. The songs are decent. We've got, Barbara Ann comes from that. Tell Me Why. They do, I think 2 Beatles covers in there. Everybody was singing Beatles tunes back in early, mid 65. And what I don't like about the album is that recorded noise, the background noise, to make it sound like things were happening and they were having a great time. And it just doesn't do it for me. I think it takes away from the album. They did subsequently release a version without all of that studio chatter and whatnot. I shouldn't say studio, the artificial chatter, if you will. And I think I prefer that. But honestly, I probably would have wanted something in between where the automated stuff and artificial stuff was just taken down a little bit in volume and maybe reduced, because it just is too much for me to listen to. At number 17, 1968 album Friends. And this is a really good album. Carl and Dennis, again, here are shining on this. Friends is an absolutely fantastic song. Diamond Head is an instrumental Hawaiian aspect to it. Diamond Head is a volcano on Hawaii, and I think it's a fantastic song. And then at number 16, we have Holland. And this is one that was recorded, for the most part, I believe, overseas. It has the hit Sail on Sailor. And, a lot of people see this as one of the Beach Boys' best latter-day albums. It's making it to 16, so it's that midway point, if you will, of their 29 albums. Sail on Sailor is great. It's got the California Saga, which a series of songs or poems. Some are okay, some not so much. It's different. At number 15, kind of in the middle of the pack again, the Christmas album. And yes, I do like their Christmas albums. Not something I'll listen to all year long, obviously, but it worked in 1964. It continues to work. I think it's one of the better Christmas albums put out by an artist. At number 14, we have 2020. This is their 1969 album. Somewhat, I don't want to say marred, somewhat related to Dennis Wilson's friendship with Charles Manson. And we think we all know about Charles Manson. And of course, there's a song on here that's influenced by Charles Manson's songwriting. But it does have Do It Again, I Can Hear Music. But it goes downhill after that until we get to the last two tunes, which is Our Prayer and Cabinescence, both of which were recorded for the Smile album that was never released. And then at number 13, we're going to go back to 1962 to their debut album, Surfin' Safari. And Surfin' Safari obviously has Surfin' Safari on it, has 409. This was the Beach Boys' introduction to California summer fun and surfing, and it created a whole new genre of music, essentially. It was instrumental in creating that and creating a whole mystique for the California life. And it comes in at number 13 for me. At number 12, we have 1963's Little Deuce Coupe. And this is, it could be considered an early concept album because it's all about cars. And it's an enjoyable album. What can I say? And at number 11, we have Wild Honey. This is their 1967 album that followed up Pet Sounds. And what can I say about it? It's more Beach Boys soul music. They tried their hand at that, and this time it works. Unlike their '85 album, the Beach Boys, this time I think it really works. They've got the song "Darling," and they have "Here Comes the Night," which they had recycled into a disco hit in 1979. So, all in all, Wild Honey, number 11, just missing that top 10. So getting to the top 10, at number 10, Sunflower, which was released in 1970. And this is basically the Beach Boys getting back on track. This has got a couple really fantastic songs on it. I like This Whole World, Add Some Music to Your Day, Tears in the Morning, Forever. They're all highlights to me. At number 8, going back to 1967's Smiley Smile, and this is an experimental album. It has heroes and villains. Again, it's sort of taking elements or parts of what should have been the Smile album, and it puts together heroes and villains, vegetables, however you want to say that one. Good Vibrations, which may be their greatest song ever recorded. It has Wind Chimes and Wonderful, again, remnants of the Smile album. And all of that put together makes for a decent album. Number 7, going back to 1963 for Surfer Girl. And Surfer Girl is basically, in my mind, representative of the Beach Boys' career in a way, because you've got the beach type of songs on here. You've got car songs. You've got introspective songs. We're talking about like Surfer Girl, obviously the title song. You've got Surf. What else is on here? Surfer Girl, Catch a Wave, Hawaii, Our Car Club, Your Summer Dreams, and In My Room. in my room being absolutely introspective and absolutely fantastic. So now we get to number 6, Shut Down, Volume 2. And this was released in 1964. It was the 5th album, but it was the first without David Marks, who left the band after having a dispute with the Beach Boys' father, Murray, who was also managing them at the time. And this is a great album. This has fun on it. It has one of my absolute favorite, probably my second favorite Beach Boys song, which is Don't Worry Baby. It also has Warmth of the Sun. Great album. So now we get to the top 5. Coming in at number 5, for me, again, this is just my opinion, and yours may be different, may be very different. Number 5 for me, Surf's Up, 1971. Amazing album, and hey, it has Surf's Up on it, so it has to be an amazing album just for that one song alone. But it has more than that one song. This is a very innovative album. It has, obviously, Surf's Up, has Long Promised Road on it. It has Field Flows. Just a fantastic album. Student Demonstration Time, yeah, maybe not. I think Mike missed the mark on that one, but it comes in at number 5 for me. Then at number 4, Summer Days and Summer Nights. It's got to be summer. You're talking about the Beach Boys. Got to have summer. And this was released in 1965. It's, part of the transitional period where Brian was stepping away from some of the surf and cars, teenage fun stuff, which Mike didn't particularly like. But he was moving away from it, and he basically created an album that has California Girls, amazing, A Girl from New York City, Girl Don't Tell Me, Help Me Rhonda, Let 'Em Run Wild, fantastic song, and Your Dreams Come True. And great album. At number 3, All Summer Long, their 1964 album that includes I Get Around, obviously All Summer Long, Hushabye, Little Honda, Wendy, and Don't Back Down. Fantastic early Beach Boys. So only 2 left, and I think you know what they are. At number 2, Beach Boys Today. And this is their 1965 album. Again, part of that early transition. It does have some incredible early Beach Boys songs on it. Please Let Me Wonder, Help Me Rhonda, Do You Want to Dance, When I Grow Up to Be a Man, She Knows Me Too Well, Good to My Baby. All fantastic Beach Boys songs. They ended, unfortunately, with Bull Sessions with Big Daddy, and honestly, it's just, more studio chatter and stuff that I'm not particularly a fan of. I like studio chatter when you hear snippets of discussions during the studio. This was like 2 minutes of, I don't know, it was a wasted 2 minutes in my opinion. They had recorded a song called All Dressed Up for School, which was also about 2 minutes long. They probably should have recorded that for inclusion on this album. They didn't. They did record it around that time. They just didn't include it on the album. Of course, it's a song that these days may be deemed inappropriate, since the whole idea of it was basically liking a girl and getting turned on by her, what she's wearing to school. So I won't say any more than that. Then, of course, at number 1, we've got their 1966 classic, Pet Sounds. What can I say about this album that hasn't been said? It's an absolute masterpiece. It has, again, it's experimental. It gave Brian an opportunity to produce some absolutely amazing music and to express his inner feelings. So Pet Sounds at number one. Now, having said that and having completed the list, I also have to say, and I mentioned this before, there is an album that never was. And that album, of course, is Smile. Had the Beach Boys been able to follow up Pet Sounds with Smile, that probably would have been, not probably, almost certainly, that would have been my number one album. And yes, I know, despite the fact that it would have contained Heroes and Villains, Good Vibrations, Surf's Up, and other classics, Cabanescence, and so on. I mean, that would have made it a fantastic album. And a lot of people don't like Vegetables. They don't like Wind Chimes necessarily. The whole Seasons type of medley, Miss O'Leary's Cow and all that stuff, you know. I love it. I absolutely love that. And I like quirky music. What can I say? Maybe not as quirky as Tiny Tim, although I can take some of Tiny Tim. I don't know if I could listen to a whole album of it. But I like my quirky music. I like different things. I like different sounds. And that's really what Brian did for Smile. He experimented with sounds. He put together puzzle pieces and then tried to put them together to show a complete picture, which worked magnificently well on Good Vibrations, but not necessarily on, I guess, a whole album. And, you know, he was going through some challenges then. He had some issues that prevented it from ever being released. But Surf's Up would have been, Smile would have been my number one album. But we have Pet Sounds to love, so I'm okay with that. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my list. I'm sure yours is probably very different, or at least some of it is very different. Maybe not number one. Anyway, stay well, folks. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.